I inexplicably started to draw and paint, make marks from the time I was a very, very small boy, literally a toddler. For some reason, I had some predisposition to make marks on paper. I was fascinated by the idea of seeing a blank piece of paper become animated and enlivened by an image. I can't explain it. Nobody in my family could explain it. It's just what I did. And all the time through from the time I was a toddler, through childhood, through grade school, through high school, all my relatives and friends would say, "Oh, Donnie, he's the artist." It was just assumed. And I assumed it too. My journey has been fluid. A little diversion. I quit art school in frustration and I went sailing. I worked on sailing ships for a few years. And then when I returned from sea, I became an illustrator and started working for books and magazines, and then that just kind of evolved into my career in fine art. So when I returned from sailing and I reestablished my art career, I was an illustrator, as I'd said, and I was always fascinated by not only the storytelling, the narrative component of illustration, but the pictorial demands of illustration, that you had to be dedicated to a rectangle in a particular space. And of course, like so many of others, I went to the golden age of illustrators, N.C. Wyeth, Dean Cornwell, Frank Schoonover, and I studied their graphic intelligence and their pictorial skill to select elements that actually contribute not only visually but also humanly to the storyline, what is going on there. So simultaneous to that, I was also working as a marine painter, that specific genre, because I'd sailed, I knew a lot about traditional sailing ships. It was something I absolutely loved. I was introduced to it when I was about 10 in Boothbay, Maine. And so I had this duality, if you will. I loved marine art, which was very narrative, so it was a very close cousin to illustration. And with the marriage of those two things, I was learning how to compose and how to tell a story. And along with it, you have to convince the viewer that there's something human going on. Is it exciting? Is it challenging? Is it demanding? Is it romantic? Is it comfortable? All of these things were stewing in the pot as I was learning how to paint pictures. So my illustration career contributed tremendously to my fine art career. I have a few important reasons why I wanted to visit the colonies. And it's not as though I didn't visit them before, it's just I've become more conscious of them. There's an old adage about something, you only learn it when you're ready. You know, I think it's in spiritual traditions that phrase is used, and I paraphrased it. There's rediscoveries that occur. When you're ready to receive it, you'll receive it. And some of my motives for paying attention to the art colonies in the country are one, historic. I absolutely love art history. I love history anyway. And I am a card-carrying romantic. I cannot help but think and feel about what those nights at the Florence Griswold house must have been like when they're smoking their pipe on the porches and they're talking about their painting. Or Edgar Payne and William Wendt on Pacific Coast Highway in Laguna. And somewhere nearby, Steinbeck is writing. You know, and I have such a romantic preoccupation with that part of it. Clearly the inspiration of their work and the strength, the power, the freedom that they had. I'm still bewildered by how they were able to actually do that and be able to make a living at it. That would be another one of the motives for which I like to visit and revisit those places. So it's history, it's inspiration, and it's the romanticism of it all.